This is the girls' 11 years and over 200-metre individual medley, heat number 1. So we're off and underway in this opening heat. We've only got the 4 before we head into our next event in this session. In lane 3 then we have Brock Whiston, the 26-year-old. And in lane 4 we have Isabella Vanasulas, the 13-year-old. And then we also have Lucy Fielding in lane 5, the 14-year-old. We've got a mixed class in this heat, and we've got several different times as well to deal with. But with this being the 200-metre, of course this being the individual medley, there is always opportunity for every swimmer to show what they are capable of. And with their times around the 2-minute 30 mark, we've got about a minute and a half to go of this opening heat. If you are competing in the boys 11 and over for the 50-metre freestyle, can you please go down to the marshals area? If you're competing in the boys 11 and over 50-metre freestyle, please head down to the marshal area. Thank you. And let's just give a little bit of encouragement here on this near side. Brock Whiston as she comes across towards the finish line. Tremendous work by her as she touches the timing board with a time of 2:46.5. Heat number 2. Off and underway then in the second heat, ages from 13 all the way up to 17. Lane 1 down to 7 then we have Ellie Fries, Thomasina Grove, Emily Celofini, Arika Pasinskate, Samantha Jackson, Margalita Stoimanova, and Kseni Shepovsky. Best time coming into this was a time of 2:21.7 from Erika Pasinskate, the 16-year-old. She'll be looking to confirm a time similar to that to get herself into the final later on this afternoon, or by the time the finals actually run around, it'll probably be the evening, actually. This being the second of 4 heats. These are preliminary qualifiers. These are not heat declared winners. So very much just got to try and get that fastest time as possible in this heat. Into the final 25 metres then, and that's in front at the moment. By no surprise is Elika passing skate. She came in with a time of 2:21.7. She won't be beating that here, but she will get the fastest time in the pool with a time of 2:24.07. Heat number 3. Well, after another short delay, we're off and underway. Lanes 1 down to 7 again. We have Poppy Weaver, Beatrice Jess, Ines Guimond Beetham, Isabel Eiley, Lavinia Rika, Victoria Bunamovic, and finally Rachel Harris out in lane 7. And once again, just a quick hello if you are watching on the live stream. Hope you are enjoying the swimming that you've seen thus far today. We're aware that it's quite a tight venue to get many spectators in, so we appreciate you joining us online. You can always drop us a tweet on the Swim in England account if you just want to tell us something about the day that you've enjoyed thus far. And who knows, we might be able to read some out on the live stream. This is now the penultimate preliminary heat, 3 of 4 of the girls 11 and over 200 metre individual medley into the 15, 16 and 17, with one 14-year-old as well taking part in this heat. Into the final 25 metres then of this 200 metre individual medley. And it is very, very close between lanes 5 and 4. We had a genuine tie earlier for a gold medal. We could get a tie here for the fastest time. Very close between both of them as they touch the timing board with 2/100ths of a second difference between them. With the fastest time going to Isabel Eiley in lane 4. Heat number 4. Off and underway then in the final of these 4 heats for the opening event of this session. And we have 8 competitors this time around. In lane 1, Rebecca Coogan. Lane 2, Annie Sanders. Lane 3, Charlotte Shaw. Lane 4, Ella McCaver. Lane 5, Pixie Lael Klasiki. Lane 6, Monica Marine. Lane 7, Isla Roberts. And finally in lane 8, Sandy Desiderovich. Ages ranging this one from 14 all the way up to 26. 12-year gap there. As we approach the halfway mark of this one, the time and the person to watch in this heat is definitely in lane 4. Is Ella McCaver, who came in with a time of 2:19.57. The 17-year-old. She'll be aiming to get that gold medal later on, but of course she needs to make sure she finishes top of this heat. Into the final couple of metres then, and out in lane 5. Touches the timing board first. Really good performance there with a time of 2:24.83 for Pixie Lael Kalashiki. The 26-year-old gets the fastest time at the end of these heats. This is the boys 11 and over 50 metre freestyle heat number 1. So we are going to be racing through these heats, 19 of them overall in the 50 metre freestyle, but all the times are going to be quite comfortably below 30 seconds. Into the final 5 metres of this one then. It looks as if over in lane 8 will touch first, and it is indeed in lane 8 that touches first. And unfortunately, I do not have a name to read out, but I can confirm the time was 25.34 seconds. Heat number 2. Into the final 25 metres of this 50 metre then. Very close once more between a lot of our competitors. We're just going to see that all throughout these heats. Getting there first very closely, but it is in a lane for Oliver Hanley with a time of 26.94. Heat number 3. Onwards now into this third heat of 19, so 16 more to go and out in front at the moment. It's so hard to judge, but my eye line, I might just be able to see just before they touch the ball. I'm going to go with lane 3, and it is indeed lane 3 with a time of 26.68. Hudson Hill with the fastest time. Heat number 4. 12.5 metres to go then of this 50-metre sprint. And edging out just in front at the moment, I want to say is lane 7, but it could all change in the last second. And it doesn't, though, this time. It does go to Jeremiah Koniji out in lane 7 with a time of 26.64 seconds. Heat number 5. 25 metres to go then. We keep joining you at the halfway mark on the live stream and, of course, here in venue. And as they approach that yellow timing board, it's looking like in lane 8, is it? Yes, it is. Lane 8 with a time of 26.86. Killian Bramham with the fastest time. Heat number 5. Well, confirmation of your finalists for later on. If you do want to confirm this, please go to the withdraw desk and you will have the chance to withdraw your competitors from the competition, but you must do that before the final warm-up begins. We have Lavinia Rika, Erica Paskin-Tate, Ines Guimon-Beetham, Margarita Stoimanova, Victoria Bunamovic, Charlotte Shaw, Annie Sanders, Lucy Fielding, Kazinia Shapovsky and Isla Roberts are the reserves, so please do make sure to go down for that. Heat number 7. And also to confirm in the other final in that event 201, Isabel Eiley, Pixie Lael Klashiki, Ella McCaver and Samantha Jackson, as well as Rachel Harris. So please make sure to go and double check that with the withdrawals desk. Back to the action in the pool then. And touching the time board first on this occasion is in lane 3, Lucas Baum with a time of 26.11. Heat number 8. As we approach the end then of this 8th heat of 19, approaching the halfway mark and touching the timing board first. This time is Fletcher Douglas in lane 6 with a time of 25.7. Heat number 9. Well, heat 9 of 19. And we are off and underway, ranging from 13 to 18 in this heat. And at the moment, it is in lane 4 that is out in front. Lorenzo Dufour, the 18-year-old, touches first and gets a time of 25.66. Heat number 10. Over the halfway mark of these heats and over the halfway mark of this heat in particular, heat 10 of 19, and pushing themselves every single swimmer towards the end. And this is so close, and touching first just about goes to Dennis O'Brien in lane 2 with a time of 26.58. Heat number 11. Well, halfway through their final 25 metres now towards the end, and out in lane 8, touching first. Brilliantly done by Andreas Kakini with a time of 25.96. Heat number 12. Into the final 12.5 metres then, and pushing out in front, I'm going to say, is lane 4's Kadeen Jemmett, but no, in the end it does go to Sebastian Williams out in lane 8 with a time of 25.54. Heat number 13. Well, we're approaching the final few stages of these heats, and this heat in particular, number 13, and it is in lane 3 that gets the time. Board first, Kevin Kayao with a time of 25.53. Heat number 14. Into the final 5 metres or so, and getting there first out in lane 7. Wonderfully done by Josh Inglis. With a time of 25.19. We're nearly at those sub 25 seconds now. Heat number 15. Four more heats to go then after this, and at the moment it is in lane 4 that is out in front, but lane 8 is creeping up just behind. I believe though they'll just hang on, and they do indeed. With a time of 24.76 for lane 4's Lucas Malsev. Heat number 16. 25 metres to go already then of this 16th heat. And out in front at the moment is in lane 5, just about edging it, but over in lane 7, creeping up behind. Who gets there first? It is lane 7. It's Alan Sheets with the time of 25.36. Heat number 17. Out at the moment then in lane 4. They're looking to try and get the fastest time. Only ahead by about a head or two's width. And in the end, it is indeed in lane 4. It is Jason Mamatoglu with a time of 23.49. The best time we've seen so far. Heat number 18. Well, in this penultimate heat, who is going to get the fastest time out in lane 4, trying their hardest, and indeed it is Brian Leong, who has a time of 23.51 with the fastest time that time round. Heat number 19. Final of these 50-metre heats before we head into the girls' backstroke 50-metre. But for now, let's focus on this final heat, 19 of 19. And out in front at the moment, in that middle lane, lane 4, it is Nicholas Finch, who gets the time of 23.21 and guarantees himself a place in the finals later on this afternoon. This is the girls 11 and over 50-metre backstroke heat number 1. Well, as we enter the final 25 metres then of this opening heat, there's only 5 in the backstroke. And leading the way at the moment, it's very tough to call, actually, with this being the backstroke. And unfortunately, the timing board hasn't actually updated as of yet. According to the live stream, though, it looks as if it is Sofia Stoyanova who has got the fastest time. Heat number 2. Heat number 2. Well, as these get underway, once more I have some finalists for the event later on this afternoon. This is from the boys 11 to 16 and 17 and over category for the 50-metre freestyle. Nicholas Finch, Henry Gray, Joseph Adams, Mehmet Zeren, Lucas Melsev, David Niascu, Joshua Inglis and Joshua Ataleto have all made it to the final, with Alexander Laurie and Ethan Southwood being the reserves on that. We'll come back to the other finalists in a second, because touching the board first this time around is Ellie Freeze with a time of 31.43. Heat number 3. Well, before we go on to our other finalists, this is a call out to the boys 11 and over. If you're taking part in the 100-metre backstroke, please go down to the pool side and to the marshals area. Thank you. And as we approach the end already of this 50-metre backstroke, looking on in, the fastest time will go into lane 4. Isabel Eiley with a time of 29.97, sub 30 seconds. Excellent stuff. Heat number 4. And just as we get underway in our penultimate heat of the 50-metre backstroke, a final call then for the other finalists from the boys 17 and over 50-metre freestyle. Jason Matoglu, Brian Leong, Jian Ming, Jeffrey Lowe, Aran Din, Gordon Lee, Shaquille Giordani, Mateja Similanic, and Isaac Zawada. And the reserves are James Sproston and Dominic Waters. And touching the timing board first there again, sub 30 seconds, 29.07 for Emily Maligaloko. Heat number 5. Well, as we approach the end then of this 50-metre backstroke, we'll be heading into the 100-metre backstroke with the boys very soon. And at the moment, leading the way and getting there first, quite comfortably so as well, is Katie Latham with some 28.16 in the middle lane in lane 4. This is the boys 11 and over 100-metre backstroke, heat number 1. Well, in lane 2, down to 7 then, we have Hudson Hill, Benji Farrakhan Smith, Storm Hagenhugen, Oliver Cunningham, James Sugru, and Balthazar Bradshaw. Some absolute cracking names in this opening heat, I must say. In the boys 11 and over 100-metre backstroke. Best timings coming into this, we're around the 104, 105 in this early heat. We will have 5 heats overall before we move on to the 200-metre freestyle later on. As we come to the tail end here, it is in lane 3, Benji Farquhar Smith that will touch the board first and get a time of 102.96, beating his seed time by about 3.5 seconds. Heat number 2. So out in lane 5, we have Harry Chowdhury, which is leading the way at the moment. Right, don't have a lane 4, so lane 5 looks as if they'll take it, and they do, with a time of 103.08 in this second heat. Heat number 3. So we've got some more finalists to announce. We have in event 203, Emily Serafini, Thomasina Grove, Garcia Titterton, Bella Cottrell, Eleanor Chadwick, Mabel Sarah Hayes, Veronica Venuti, and Claire Jenkins, with the reserves, Annabelle Alexandra Dewhurst and Jessica Toe. And in the girls 17 and over, we have Katie Latham, Amelia Magiloko, Isabel Ely, Maya Curlew, Tallulah Paisley, Kira McCardle, Rachel Harris, Blythe Jolly Ellis, and the reserves, Dinah Benadia and Evelyn Charlotte Cole. Well, towards the final couple of meters then in this one, very close between lanes 5 and 4. And it is in lane 5, I do believe, that gets the fastest time. Noah Oladele Jose gets a time of 58.63, 31 hundredths of a second quicker than Henry Gray in lane 4. Heat number 4. Well, off and underway in this penultimate heat of the boys 11 and over 100 metre backstroke. We've got a full capacity pool at the minute. In lane 1, we have Lucas Malta, followed by Nicholas Finch, Mehmet Zareen, Jason Mamatoglu, Brandon Biss, Eric Enslin, Jonathan Rudd, and Owen Roberts. And already we're in now to the final 50 metres of this backstroke. We've got one more coming up before we move into some 200-metre freestyles. And this session is absolutely flying by. Can we please have the girls 11 and over 200-metre freestyle swimmers down to the marshals area, please? It's down to the marshals area immediately, please, if you are taking part in the girls 11 and over 200-metre freestyle. The fastest time in that heat goes to Jason Matoglu with a time of 58.35 in lane 4. Heat number 5. Well, it's lights out and away we go then in this final heat of the preliminary heat. We have the final coming up later this afternoon in lane 1. Giles Cunningham, followed by James Sprosson, Oscar Sulas, Shaquille Giordani, Edward Marcel Whittles, Joseph Adams, and finally in lane 7, Aidan Alpin. And getting to the time and pad first at the end of this final heat, we have Marcel Whittles with a time of 58.19 out in lane 5. This is the girls 11 and over 200 meter freestyle heat number 1. We're off and underway in this opening heat of 7 in the girls 200 meter freestyle. In lane 2, down to 7, we have Sophia Hall, Sophia Moole, Teenie Rooney, Liliana Fletcher, Mia Hughes, and Katie Won. Well, into the closing stages then of this opening heat of the freestyle. And over in lane 7 and 6, very close. Next 7/100ths of a second between them. And it does go to Mia Hughes in lane 6 with a time of 2:15.7. Heat number 2. So in the second heat, we've got a full pool of competitors. Lanes 1 to 8, we have Hannah Strover, Phoebe Cousins, Sophia Stoyanova, Alfie O'Leary, Katie Weekly, Elizabeth McClune, Faith Martin, and Lila Bias. Some more confirmed finalists for you. In event 204, the boys 11 to 16 100-meter backstroke. We have Edward Marcel Whittles, Nicholas Finch, Noah Oladele Jose, Henry Gray, Mehmet Zeren, Joseph Adams, Sam Adams, and Eric Enzen, with the reserves being Lucas Melsev and Aidan Orpin. And as well as that, in the same event, but in the boys 17 and over, 100-meter backstroke, we have Jason Matoglu, Shaquille Giordani, Brandon Biss, Matija Similanic, James Sprostin, Giles Cunningham, Oscar Sulas, and Jonathan Rudd, with the reserves being Aaron Wilson and William Irvine. For any more questions on that or any queries, please go down to the withdrawals desk down on the pool side on the right-hand side. Well, nearing the finish now over on that far side. Hannah Strover seemingly getting there first. Sorry, no, wrong area of the pool. My apologies. That is Lila Bias on the far side with the fastest time of 2:14.98. Heat number 3. So in this third heat of 7, we have Poppy Weaver, Olivia Allender, Grace Tricker, Charlotte Shaw, Maleka Onabrausch, Bianca Jamal, Ada Morter, and finally Amy Lawrence over in lane 8. If you're watching on the live stream, a reminder that lane 1 is on your near side and lane 8 is on the far. And at the moment, out in lane 5, it is Maleka Onabrausch, a 13-year-old who is leading the way. Well, it's fairly close now between lane 5 and 4 as they approach the timing board. Who is going to get there first? My, oh my, is this close? So close between them both. They touch it with, well, very close there, about, what, half a hundredth of a second in it? And it does go to Maleka Onabrausch with a time of 2:12.08 in lane 5. Heat number 4. So in this 4th heat of the preliminary qualifiers for the finals, we have in lane 1 Penelope Kessler, followed by Constance Naranjo, Cassandra Strook, Eva Marsh, Veronica Venuti, Annabelle Nash, Poppy Jeffrey, and finally Alexandra Down. Well, as we enter the final 12.5 metres here out in lane 4, Eva Marsh, 17-year-old, came in with a time of 2:13.32, and she beats that comfortably here with a time of 2:10.99 to get the fastest time thus far in these qualifiers. Heat number 5. So once again, 8 swimmers in this pool at the moment, with Elsa Bridge in lane 1, followed by Eva Murray, Annabelle Wilson, Sophia Jackson, Lola Burns, Inez Guimond Beetham, Isla Roberts, and Daisy Woolacott. Ages in this one ranging from 14 to 18. Of course, these are just the heats before we head into our finals later on today. Well, into the closing stages once again of this fifth heat, and out in front by, well, I wouldn't say a comfortable margin. It's getting quite close here between lanes 5 and 3, but in the end it is Lola Burns who gets a time of 2:07.5 across the line. Heat number 6. So in this penultimate heat, we have in lane 1, Victoria Bunamovic, followed by Annie Sanders, Lauren Mew, Katie Latham, Kezia Titterton, Julia Paulick, Emily Simmons, and Indigo Spence. Final 10 metres then of this one in the lane of 4. We have Katie Latham, the 25-year-old, who smashed it from start to finish and gets a time of 2:04.55. Closely followed 2 seconds later by Kezia, Titterton in lane 5 with a time of 2:06.5. Heat number 7. Well, in this one at the moment, at the halfway stage, we have in lane 1, Isabella Thansulas. Lane 2, Rebecca Coogan, followed by Phoebe Chadwick, Amelia Bryan, Eleanor Chadwick, Blythe Charlie Ellis, Martina Calabas, and Ellie Fries. We'll enter the final 12.5 metres end of this final heat before we move on to the 200-metre butterfly. And out in lane 4, getting the fastest time, is Amelia Bryan with a time of 2:03.81. This is the boys 11 and over 200-metre butterfly heat number 1. Well, including this event, we have 3 more to go before we go into our finals later on this evening. And in this opening heat, we've only got a few lanes. So in lane 2 to 7, we have Jack Kears, Thomas Crook, Jason van der Merwe. In lane 5, Liam Trainer. In 6 and 7, Soren Singh and Alex Munden. Can we please have the girls for the 11 and over 100-metre breaststroke down to the marshals area, please? That is the girls competing in the 11 and over 100-metre breaststroke down to the marshals area, please. So into the final few lengths then of this opening heat. And getting there first in lane 3, it is Thomas Croak. Or is it Jack Kears? I'm not too sure. The timing board may have got this wrong based on my eyesight alone, but we will come back and check that in a second once we have the confirmed classified results. Heat number 2. heat number 2. So in this second heat of 4, we have in lanes 1 to 8, Rocco Giustiani, Edward Henwood, Thomas Flynn, Edward Marcel Whittles, Marco Roberts, Justinas Klaus Lucas, Henry Norman and Rory Bradburn. Ages in this one ranging from 13 to 17, and all trying their best to qualify for the finals later on this evening. Once again, we have our confirmed finalists and reserves for later on in event 205. In the girls 11 to 16 category, we have Eleanor Chadwick, Kezia Titterton, Lola Burns, Julia Paulick, Phoebe Chadwick, Isla Roberts, Elsa Bridge and Indigo Spence. And with the reserves being Inez Guimond Beetham and Annie Sanders. And in the 17 and over category, we have Amelia Bryan, Katie Latham, Annabelle Wilson, Emily Simmons, Eva Marsh, Blythe Jolly Ellis, Sophia Jackson, Cassandra Strook, and our reserves, Hannah Strover and Olivia Elender. If you're unsure whether you are in a final or you want to withdraw, then please go down to the withdrawal desk on the right side of the pool. And at the timing board, getting there first was Thomas Flynn in lane 3 with a time of 2:10.44. Heat number 3. We're off and underway in this third heat then, and once again from lanes 1 to 8 we have Sebastian Williams, Theodore Diekten, Llewellyn Porter, Henry Gray, Rahul Mahmood, Richard Grant, Yassine Selmani and Luke Knight. Well, leading at the moment, very close between lanes 3, 4 and 5. Touching the time board at the moment in the lead is in lane 3, Llewellyn Porter. But still, with 50 metres to go, that could all change. In lane 3 then, to touch the timing board first, it is Llewellyn Porter with a time of 2:08.17. Heat number 4. We're off and underway then in this final heat. Before we head into our next event, this at the moment is a 200-meter butterfly. The next one coming up is a 100-meter breaststroke in the girls. But in this final of these 4 heats, we have Oliver Warner in lane 1, 2 Ethan Howard, 3 James Kay, 4 James Cleaver, 5 Sam Cornish, 6 Aidan Orpin, 7 Stephen Salazar, and 8 Rafe Owen. Oh, Jamie Cleaver is leading the way at the moment with about another 25 metres or so to go. And indeed, he is absolutely tanking ahead here. Absolutely devastating display from Cleaver in lane 4. Touches the board with a time of 2:04.86. It's nowhere near his fastest time coming into this, but he beats his nearest competitor by nearly over, what's that, 8 seconds? Outstanding stuff by the lane 4's Jamie Cleaver. This is the girls 11 and over 100 meter breaststroke, heat number 1. Well, we only have the 3 competitors in this opening heat. Jessica Wright, and then we have Stuart Liddon in 4, and then in lane 5, Anissa Carigiani. And the fastest time there going to Jessica Wright in lane 3, a time of 1:23.01. Heat number 2. And out in lane 1 then, it is Marina Kennedy with a time of 1:19.53 with the fastest time in the second heat. Heat number 3. Well, at the start of this one, once again, a reminder to some of you finalists, if you hear your name read out, you will be taking part in the finals later on, and you can go and check yourself in, whether you are on the reserves or just double check if you are definitely in a final down at the withdrawals desk on the pool side. So the names I have here are Llewellyn Porter, Henry Gray, Raheel Mahmood, Thomas Flynn, Edward Marcel Whittles, Aidan Orpin, Henry Norman and Ethan Howard, with the reserves Theodore Detachin and Richie Grant. And then the other final that we have James Cleaver, James Kay, Marco Roberts and Sam Cornish. So at the end of that one, the fastest time goes to Helena Flynn in lane 1 with a time of 1:19.6. Heat number 4. So in this fourth heat of 8 at the halfway stage, we have Jessica Bill in lane 1, followed by Esme Stringer, Emma Bugan, Iris Court, Ava Holt, Mia Hughes, Isabel Stone, and Olivia Zobek. And at the end of that heat, it does go to Iris Court in lane 4 with a time of 1:16.33. Heat number 5. So now in heat 5 of 8, we have Amy Fielding in lane 1, followed by Veronique Closet, Cassandra Struk, Gabby Gedu Malanari, Evie Wotton, Erin O'Hara, Olivia Dunn, and Essina Busmina. And into the final couple of meters in lane 4, it does go to Getty Molinari with a time of 1:17.77. Heat number 6. Can we please have the competitors for the boys 11 and over 400-meter freestyle down into the marshals area, please? That is the competitors for the boys 11 and over 400-meter freestyle down to the marshals area immediately. Thank you. And then touching the board first now, Emily Leonard in lane 4 with number 1:15.26. Heat number 7. So in this one from lanes 1 to 8, we have Molly Clark, Charlotte Field, Lanley, Pixie Lael Klashiki, Kaysen Shapovsky, Tatiana Kinsler, Josephine Lawn, and Brooke Whiston. Out in lane 4 then, touching the board first. Nicely done by Leo Klashiki with a time of 1:12.91. Heat number 8. Well, in this final heat then, before we go into our final event, we have Lilu Says in lane 1, followed by Hannah Lewis, Natasha Greer, Jessica Ailing, Ella McCaver, Indigo Stone, Margarita Stoimanova, and Beatrice Jeffs. And getting there now, Jessica Ailing in a lane 4 with time of 1:11.02, bringing an end to these preliminary heats in the girls 11 over 100 meter breaststroke. This is the boys 11 and over 400 meter freestyle heat number 1. Well, in this opening heat then, in lane 2, we have Baltazar Bradshaw, followed by Matteo Antonelli, Luke Cleaver, Jack Kears, and Eddie Evans. Well, just as this is progressing, do have some more finalists to announce. We have from the event 207, Kasina Shayapovsky, Margarita Stoimanova, Emily Leonard, Josephine Lawn, Indigo Stone, Ava Kelly, Natasha Greer and Lan Lee are all through, with the two reserves being Iris Court and Eva Harris Brown. And then in the girls 17 and over, we have Jessica Ailing, Pixie Lala Klashiki, Tatiana Kinsler, Ella McCaver, Samantha Jackson, Lilu Says, Emma Bagoon, and Cassandra Strook, followed by Marley Clark and Leah Lipsy Swarbrick as the two reserves. If you do have any queries, then please do go down to the withdrawal desk. And a reminder to all competitors and swimmers, you have until around about 5:30, the end of this event, to withdraw yourself from the finals. Getting there first in lane 3 is Antonelli. Nicely done, the 14-year-old with a time of 4:26.29, improving on his qualification time of 30, well, by 10 seconds, should I say. And coming in now on this near side in lane 2 is Balthazar Bradshaw. So we can just give him a warm reception as he comes through to the end. Heat number 2. So in the second heat, from lanes 1 down to 8, we have Jacob Holder, Joshua Singer, Liam Trina, and then in lane 4 we have Tima Kadar, Jaden Drummond, Maximilian Dooley, Martin van Dommelslaar, and then Jason van der Merwe. coming in and to finish off this heat at the moment. Into the final 50 metres we go. And at the moment it is in lane 2, I believe, that is out in front. Joshua Singer. And the fastest time, that time going down to lane 7 with a time of 4:17.85. Van Dommerslaw getting the fastest time in this heat declared winner. We'll find out who our medal winners are later on this evening. Heat number 3. Well, we're off and underway in lane 1 down to 8. We have Kenachuki, Harris Eze, Virgil Alexandra, Cillian Brabham, Alexander Laurie, Samir Benadir, James Dakin, Yassine Salmani and Dante Sinot. And as we approach the end of this third heat, the fastest time does go to Alexander Laurie in the lane 4 with a time of 4:15.54. Heat number 4. Well, in this penultimate heat then, we have Christopher Chilton in lane 1, followed by David Niascu, Joseph Adam, Mark Milburn, Philip Simpos, Billy Bainbridge, Jameson McLaren, and Kevin Sow. And into the final stages then of this 4th heat. Airing the timing board now in lane 5, flipping around up that end. We have a time at the minute of 3:39.72. It is lane 5's Philip Simpos. 15-year-old came in with a qualifying time of 4:12.22. He'll be hoping to at least try and get near to that to try and get himself up onto that medal table in this heat declared winner. One more heat to go after this, so he needs to make this time as good as he possibly can out in lane 5 into the 4:06, 4:07, 4:08 now. He will, in fact, beat his qualifying time with a 4:10.16. Nicely done by Simpose, Philip Simpose, with a time of 4:10.16. Heat number 5. Well, in this final heat then, in lane 8, we have Edward Marcel Whittles, and then from 7 up to 1, just changing it up for this final heat, we have Raheel Mahmood, Sonny Thomas, Cameron Carlos, Timothy LaBelle, Thomas Evans, Brian Dyneff, and Jake Tompkins. And in the final heat, we'll find out who our heat declared winner is very soon. But in that heat, the fastest time goes in lane 1 to Jake Tompkins with a time of 4:04.53. Now that heat is done. Swimmers, please get out of the pool as quickly as you possibly can by either side. I know you're waiting for confirmation from one of the officials. But trust me, I've been told you can get out the pool. And that means we can get on with our warm-ups for our finals that are upcoming. So if you are going to be taking part in the finals and you'd like to warm up, then you can start to do so immediately. And that will be going on for the next 25 minutes. And this is a reminder to coaches, though, no sprint lanes will be in place for this warm-up. But 25 minutes of warm-ups can now take place. Well, we have our official heat declared winners now. And in the boys, 11 to 16, 400 meter freestyle. If you hear your name, you have won a medal. In third place, we have Brian Dynev. In a second, with the silver, we have Thomas Evans. And in first, we have Jake Tompkins. And in the boys 17 years and over, we have in third place, Christopher Chilton. In second place, Timothy LaBelle. And in first place, getting the gold medal, Cameron Carlos. You can go and collect those medals from down on the medal table on the pool side. 5 minutes remaining of the warm-up to everyone in the pool. 5 minutes remaining before we essentially want you to get out as soon as possible so we can get on with our finals. So I was about to do an announcement for swimmers to get out the pool at the end of your warm-up, but there is just one swimmer left in the pool that's casually going through his, I believe, a backstroke there in lane 4. So if you can hear me under the water, we'd very much appreciate it if you could get out the pool so we can get on with our finals and bring out our officials. Well, we're on to our final session of the day, and we're starting off with our girls 11 and over 200 meter individual medley final. In lane 1, we have Annie Sanders. In lane 2, Victoria Bunimovic. Lane 3, Inez Guimon Beetham. Lane 4, Lavina Rika. Lane 5, Erica Passin-Skate. Lane 6, Margarita Stoimanova. Lane 7, Charlotte Shaw. And in lane 8, Lucy Fielding. This is your 11 to 16 girls 200 meter individual medley final. Well, it's lights out and away we go in this opening heat. And, of course, we've only got 2 finals per event in this final session of the day. We've been racing since 8:30 this morning, and the clock has just gone past 6 o'clock. So it's been a very long day of competition, but we've seen some excellent swims so far. If you're still joining us on the live stream, a big hello to you and a big thank you to you, of course, for joining the stream across the day. And a big thank you, actually, to everyone that's been supporting inside Glass and Mill venue this afternoon and, of course, this morning. Well, in this competition, this is between the 11 and 16 categories, so we've got ages ranging from 13 to 16 here. And we've got teams represented from Bromley, Chelsea and Westminster, Camden, Swiss Cottage, Barking and Dagenham, and Newham of University. So, of course, this being the 200 metre individual medley, they'll do 50 metres in each stroke. Just going in to the breaststroke now, and just edging out in front in lane 4 and lane 5 is Lavinia Rika and Erica Passin-Skate. Both of those have been at the forefront of the competition over today. They've been pushing out themselves in each different stroke that they've been doing and in each race that they've been partaking in. Both of them with those slight silver caps on. Slight little variation on them both. With Passin-Skate representing Barking and Dagenham Aquatics, with Lavina Rika representing Chelsea and Westminster. And as they turn around and head into the freestyle, there is only 50 metres remaining now of this opening 200 metre. Of course, the medals are what everyone is trying to win here. And if, as long as you're in the top 3, you have got a medal, because these are the finals. They're not heat declared winners. They are, in fact, the finals. And as we approach the final closing stages, it is in lane 4. It is Lavina Rika who touches it first with a time of 2:22.68 to claim the gold medal. This is the girls 17 and over final for the 200 metre individual medley. And wow, we only have 2 competitors. So in lane 4, give it up for Isabel Eiley. And in lane 5, Samantha Jackson. This is the girls 17 and over 200 metre individual medley final. And at the end of that individual medley final between only two competitors coming out on top with a time of 2:20.17 is Isabel Eiley. They give themselves a nice little hug there in the pool, quite nice to see. This is the boys 11 and over 50 meter freestyle final. In lane 1, we have Joshua Ataleto. Lane 2, David Niascu. Lane 3, Joseph Adams. Lane 4, Nicholas Finch. Lane 5, Henry Gray. Lane 6, Lucas Malsev. Lane 7, Joshua Inglis. And in lane 8, Alexander Laurie. This is the boys 11 and over 50 meter freestyle final. Well, we're off and underway. This is going to be a very quick final indeed. And already we're into the final 10 metres. And in lane 4, it is Nicholas Finch who touches the timing pad with a time of 23.03 to get that fastest time for Chelsea and Westminster. This is the boys 17 and over 50 meter freestyle final. In lane 1, we have Isaac Zawada. In lane 2, Gordon Lee. In lane 3, Jianming Jeffrey Lowe. In lane 4, Jason Mimatoglu. Lane 5, Brian Leon. In lane 6, Ariane Din. In lane 7, Mateja Smiljanic. And in lane 8, James Sproston. This is your boys 17 and over 50 meter freestyle final. Coming into the final 5 metres then of this one, very close between lanes 4 and 5. Could we see another split gold medal? They touch the timing pads and 2/100ths of a second between it. But the gold medal does go to Brian Leong with a time of 23.25. This is the girls 11 and over 50 metre backstroke final. In lane 1, we have Claire Jenkins. Lane 2, Mabel Sarah Hayes. Lane 3, Kazia Titterton. Lane 4, Emily Serafini. Lane 5, Thomasina Grove. Lane 6, Bella Cottrell. Lane 7, Veronica Venuti. And in lane 8, Annabelle Alexandra Dewhurst. This is your girls 11 and over 50 metre backstroke final. We're off and underway then in the first of two of these backstrokes, and remarkably, we're actually on time in terms of scheduling. Would you believe it? We are well ahead of schedule, in fact, because, well, we're about a minute ahead. And so far then, in the last couple of metres then of this one, in lanes 4 and lanes 5, it's very close, but I reckon lane 4 will take it. Emily Serafini does indeed with a time of 30.18 in lane 4, getting the gold medal in her category. This is the girls 17 and over 50-metre backstroke final. In lane 1, we have Rachel Harris. Lane 2, Tallulah Paisley. Lane 3, Isabel Eiley. Lane 4, Katie Latham. In lane 5, Amelia Magiloko. In lane 6, Maya Curlew. In lane 7, Kira McCardle. And in lane 8, Blythe Jolly Ellis. This is the girls 17 and over 50-metre backstroke final. Well, off and underway in this very short 50-metre, 25-metre each way in this short course style. And out in front of the moment, just emerging from the water, it is in lane 4 that is just down in front. That is Katie Latham of Bromley, the 25-year-old. She is going to claim the gold medal with a time at 28.17. This is the boys 11 and over 100-metre backstroke final. In lane 1, we have Sam Adams. In lane 2, Mehmet Zelen. In lane 3, Noah Oladele Jose. Lane 4, Edward Marcel Whittles. Lane 5, Nicholas Finch. Lane 6, Henry Gray. In lane 7, Joseph Adams. And in lane 8, Lucas Malsev. This is the boys 11 and over 100-metre backstroke final. Well, we're off and underway in this one. The preliminary times all under 1 minute, bar the lanes 1 and 8. So we're fully expecting some more sub 1 minute times here in the final for this backstroke. We don't have many finals to go, that is for sure. We're on to the 100-metre and 200-metre section now of our finals before we end the day there, before we come back tomorrow for a whole nother day of swimming. And at the moment then, leading the way is lane 6 and lane 4. They're neck and neck going into the final couple of metres. And in lane 6 to take it, it is Henry Gray with a time of 57 seconds, .24 to claim the gold medal. This is the boys 17 and over 100 meter backstroke final. In lane 1, we have Jonathan Rudd. In lane 2, Giles Cunningham. Lane 3, Brandon Biss. Lane 4, Jason Mamatoglu. Lane 5, Shaquille Giordani. Lane 6, James Sproston. Lane 7, Oscar Sulas. And in lane 8, William Irvine. This is the boys 17 and over 100 meter backstroke final. Out in lane 5 at the moment then is Shaquille Giordani, who is leading the charge going into the final few stages of this 100 meter backstroke. And he is indeed still out in the lead, and comfortably so as well. I am very confident in saying Shaquille Giordani is your gold medalist winner with a time of 55.65. This is the girls 11 and over 200 meter freestyle final. In lane 1, we have Inez Guimond Beetham. In lane 2, we have Isla Roberts. Lane 4, Julia Paulick. In lane 4, Kezia Titterton. Lane 5, Lola Burns. Lane 6, Phoebe Chadwick. In lane 7, Indigo Spence. And in lane 8, Annie Sanders. This is your girls 11 and over 200 meter freestyle final. So in this final, we've got competitors from Camden, Swiss Cottage, Hackney Aquatics, Hillingdon, Bromley, Beckenham, Teddington, Chelsea and Westminster, and then one more from Bromley as well. The starting time coming into this to beat was a time of 2:06.5, set by Bromley's 16-year-old Kezia Titterton. Whether that will still be the case come the end of it, we're unsure. But at the moment, she is actually leading the way out in lane 4. Coming into the closing stages then of this one, and it's very close, but it looks as if it's lane 5 actually in the lead. Lola Burns are beckoning, touches the timing bad first, and indeed with a time of 2:06.31, the outside favourite Lola Burns gets the gold medal. This is the girls 17 years and over 200 metre freestyle final. In lane 2, we have Blythe Ellis Jolly. In lane 3, we have Annabelle Wilson. In lane 4, we have Amelia Bryan. In lane 5, we have Katie Latham. In lane 6, we have Emily Simmons. In lane 7, we have Cassandra Strook. And in lane 8, we have Olivia Elenda. This is the girls 17 years and over 200 metre freestyle final. Well, just to correct myself, I do send my apologies out to Orpington OJ's Blythe Jolly Ellis. I've said your name numerous times all day and then somehow got it wrong in the final. Just got the thumbs up there from the coach as well. Appreciate that. And once again, I do send my apologies. But she does come into this with a time of 2:13.61. Definitely one of the outside favourites, but she's doing well at the moment. But out in front in lane 4 is Amelia Bryan from Beckenham, the 17-year-old who comes in with the fastest preliminary time of 2:03.81. And she is indeed just about edging herself out in front ahead of Katie Latham of Bromley in lane 5. Coming into the final stages then now, and it is out in lane 4, Amelia Bryan of Beckenham. The favourite coming in and gets a time of 2:02.0 to get that gold medal in lane 4. This is the boys 11 and over 200 metre butterfly final. In lane 2, we have Aidan Orpin. Lane 3, Raheel Mahmood. Lane 4, Llewellyn Porter. Lane 5, Henry Gray. Lane 6, Edward Marcel Whittles. Lane 7, Henry Norman. And in lane 8, Richie Grant. This is the boys 11 and over 200 metre butterfly final. So we're off and underway in the penultimate of our final events. This isn't actually the penultimate final, but it is the penultimate event of these finals that we're going through at the moment. And we have lots of representatives here from Dulwich Dolphins, Sutton and Cheam, Romford Town, Camden, Swiss Cottage, a couple from Chelsea and Westminster, and finally from Bromley. Once again, the age range in this one from 14 to 16. The time coming into this that was the best was from Llewellyn Porter of Camden and Swiss Cottage with a time of 2:08.17, but it was incredibly close between himself and Henry Gray. And at the moment in the pool, that story is exactly unfolding. Going into the final stages then, lanes 4 and lane 6 of this butterfly. They've come out of their cocoons and flying to the finish. Who's going to get there first? It is indeed in lane number 6. It is Marcel Whittles with a time of 2:05.8 to get the gold medal. This is the boys 17 and over 200 meter butterfly final. In lane 3, we have Marco Roberts. In lane 4, we have James Cleaver. And then in lane 6, we have Sam Cornish. This is the boys 17 and over 200 meter butterfly final. Well, we could see ourselves with a three-way photo finish in this one, seeing as we've only got 3 competitors in the pool, all representing Hackney Aquatics, Beckenham, and then finally Enfield Swim Squad. All of them coming in with a range of times, but James Cleaver definitely is the favourite with a time of 2:04.86 coming into this. A brilliant preliminary time. Can he get anywhere near to that and claim that gold medal? On into the final stages then of this one in lane 4. It is Sam Clee there. He is waves in front of everyone else as he's getting closer to that 4th podium where he'll touch the timing board and get a time of 2:03.8 for James Cleaver. 1 second below his initial time coming into this. And then coming across the line in 3rd place in lane 3 is Marco Roberts. This is the girls 11 and over 100 meter breaststroke final. In lane 1 we have Natasha Greer. In lane 2 we have Indigo Stone. In lane 3 we have Emily Leonard. In lane 4, we have Senior Shebefovsky. In lane 5, we have Margalita Stoimanova. In lane 6, we have Josephine Lawn. In 7, we have Ava Kelly. And in lane 8, we have Landley. This is your girls 11 and over 100 meter breaststroke final. Well, we're off and underway then in this 100 meter breaststroke final, the penultimate final of the day. Who will come out on top? Who will be the fastest swimmer? Who will get that gold medal, silver and bronze? Well, in about a minute's time, we will find out. At the moment in lane 4, taking the lead is Senior Shibafovsky of Camden Swiss Cottage. And she is still out in front, coming up to the final 25 meters or so of this breaststroke. She turns around at one end and flies now to the other, bobbing up and down, getting closer and closer. She does. She's obviously representing here Camden Swiss Cottage. They'll be absolutely delighted if they can get her the gold medal. And indeed they have, with a time of 1:12.97 in lane 4 for Senior Shibabovsky. This is the girls 17 and over 100 meter breaststroke final. In lane 2, we have Cassandra Stluk. Lane 3, Tatiana Kinsler. Lane 4, Jessica Ailing. Lane 5, Pixie Leal Klishiki. In lane 6, Emma Bugan. This is the girls 17 and over final. So we are into our final of today. A big thank you to everyone on the stream and in the venue for attending and watching and supporting your swimmers and your clubs. And they need that final push now as we're looking into for lanes 4 and 5 in the middle of the pool. As Jessica Ailing and Pixie Lael Klasicki that are battling away from Romford Town and from Brompton. Who will come out on top? Who will get that silver? Who will get that gold? Very close between the two of them now, with those two different colour caps on, the silver of lane 5, the yellow of lane 4, getting closer and closer to the end. Can in lane 4 looking to get that gold medal, Jessica Ailing. Getting closer and closer. She will touch the timing board with a time of 1:10.84. To wrap up our heats and our finals across here on day 1 of the Swim England London Winter Championships 2022. A big thank you to everyone on stream for tuning in. A big thank you to everyone in the venue for supporting and taking part and being cooperative. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Our first event is on at 8:30. Warm-up starting at 8 AM. We'll see you then.